What's going on, everyone? It's Wesley back with you today with Core 4 Sports, and today I'm going to be explaining the NC State Baseball College World Series situation. Earlier today, the NCAA ruled that NC State and Vanderbilt's second game and the winner-take-all game to decide who would go to the College World Series final would be ruled no contest, as NC State would be unable to field a team. The official statement from the NCAA read, "The NCAA Division I Baseball Committee has declared the Vanderbilt-NC State Men's College World Series game scheduled for Saturday, June 26 at 1 p.m. Central Time and no contest because of COVID-19 protocols. This decision was made based on the recommendation of the championship medical team and the Douglas County Health Department. As a result, Vanderbilt will advance to the College World Series finals. The NCAA and the committee regret that NC State's student athletes and coaching staff will not be able to continue in the championship in which they earn the right to participate. Because of privacy issues, we cannot provide further details." There's a lot to unpack here, including why can't NC State play, why the NCAA seems to be hurting NC State, and why this decision was made in such a quick manner rather than giving it time to play out. So let's get into it. The first thing is that why can't NC State play with the same 13 they had yesterday? Obviously, we don't know if there was further contact tracing issues, as they said no further details would be provided, but you can only assume that the 13 that were able to go yesterday should be able to go today. NC State yesterday had 4 pitchers available. They only used 2 of them. It could make sense that they could only have to use 2 and maybe use another third, or possibly get people back from contact tracing that tested negative today. So it doesn't make sense to me that they were forced to forfeit when they had enough people to play yesterday. Why do they not have enough people to play today? Secondly, why not move all of the games back a day? If you keep up with the College World Series, last night's game between Texas and Mississippi State ended around 2 o'clock Eastern Time in the morning. They then play tonight on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but then both games would have an off day tomorrow before the official final starts Monday. Why not move the Texas-Mississippi State game back a day because it ended at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then also give a day to get any more information and any more testing results from NC State to possibly move that game back to Sunday as well. Then you will still have your 2 semifinal games, and you will still have the 2 games to decide who gets into the final, and it won't actually mess up with the College World Series schedule of the final. Next is the whole issue of vaccine. Yes, there is a debate on that vaccines will provide a competitive advantage, and that is seen here. I can only assume that some people on this NC State team have gotten vaccinated, but you can also assume that some people have not. Their coach seems to be very against the vaccine, as he had this to say in his press conference after the game.
Elliot, you had said that you didn't want to indoctrinate your players into your philosophy. Did you get vaccinated yourself?
I'll tell you what, Eric, I'm not going to talk about that. If you want to talk baseball, we can talk baseball. If you want to talk politics or stuff like that, you can go talk to my head of sports medicine, Rob Murphy.
By their coach saying that he's there to teach them baseball, not politics, makes it seem as most of his team, or at least him, is not vaccinated. And when your head coach is not vaccinated, it makes the players less inclined to get vaccinated, as they don't have a central leadership figure to look up to of getting vaccinated, so they feel like they do not have to as well. Obviously, we cannot say that all of their players are not vaccinated, but the only logical thing would for these players to be vaccinated, so a situation like this doesn't have to happen. Next, back to the NCAA, is why are they not doing everything they can to try and make this game happen? There are 4 teams left in the college baseball season. There are only 5 days left in the college baseball season, so why are they not taking every single precaution possible and taking every single step to make sure these games happen? They obviously were not bubbling all of the players, as there's been pictures surfacing all over the internet of different players from different teams meeting fans, family, and people throughout the World Series. They've met them before they get on buses, hugs, and they've seen them throughout Omaha. They have also had a 40,000 person stadium full to the max. So my question is this for the NCAA. Why are you punishing these players? And also, why are you not taking every step possible like you took with March Madness, like you took with almost every other championship in sport you've had, and trying to bubble these players and keep them in a centralized area rather than exposing them to possible family members and friends and people of the community there in Omaha that could spread COVID to them and could ruin the World Series like this? Obviously, you cannot assume that NC State would have beat Vanderbilt for a second time and 2 out of 3 games this past week. They would have had to face Jack Leiter most likely today, and although they did beat him earlier in the week, it would have been hard to do on back-to-back days after just losing yesterday with 13 guys. But you also cannot assume that Vanderbilt would have won either. Vanderbilt is a good team, and this should not be a knock on them because this is not their fault. This is also, I don't think, that much of NC State's fault. This is the NCAA's fault and whoever did not get vaccinated's fault. There is a plan in place, and there is a way to limit the spread of COVID, and there is a way to not have to be in the situation in the first place, and that is to get vaccinated. If the players decided not to get vaccinated, that's on them that they are not then playing baseball today at 2 o'clock. If they did decide to get vaccinated and the NCAA did a poor job of protecting them and keeping them in a bubble and trying to do everything they can to make sure they are as safe as possible, then that's on the NCAA. And obviously we don't have all the details now, but if the way their coach said that he feels like this is politics, this is not politics. This is simple science and simple logic. If you're vaccinated, you're going to be safe. If not, you run the risk of not being able to play baseball. And for NC State, they don't get to play baseball, and their season was cut short. The final thing I'll say is this. I feel bad for every NC State player. You've made it this far, and then you are cut short of an opportunity to possibly go and win a national championship. I feel bad that these players have worked their hardest and have played their hearts out to get to this point, but I also think that this was avoidable. Obviously, if everyone is vaccinated, we aren't in this situation in the first place, and so I think this shows the importance of vaccines with COVID-19 as a bigger issue. I also, though, don't think we should make this about the vaccines, and we should make this about the incredible run NC State has been on. They beat Arkansas, Stanford, and Vanderbilt to be one of the last 4 teams standing. And unfortunately, their season was cut short. That's all for today's video. If you got this far, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a like down below and be sure to subscribe. I'll be giving you more content soon and possibly an update on this video as we get more information coming in. So thank you for watching. This is Wesley from Core 4 Sports.